Hey YouTube, this is part 4. This is the wiring of everything. Got lots of wiring. So far the only thing I've done on the grid side, bring you over here to the breaker box, is right there. I've got a 20 amp plug, that way I can still run my welders, things like that, and that'll come off the grid, so that won't be off my PIP yet. I mean, until I get different equipment, then, you know, might try to run my welders off the PIP. But for right now, we're not going to do that. Alright, we got that wired into a 20 amp breaker. We get ready to get this transformer here wired up, fired up, and get everything else wired in. So, it's pretty much what we're going to be doing. I got the stuff I told you guys about last time. You've seen some pictures of it. Alright, this is that tubing. Alright, I've got a pair of cutters here somewhere I'm going to use. I'll be cutting it to length. And as you can tell, it's flexible, so I can bend it around, move it where I want to. So I've got, I think, 100 feet of that. No, let me see. It's only 30 bucks for a roll of it. Quantity 100 foot. So there's 100 foot of this stuff. Didn't really need that much, but that's all it came in was a roll. So hey, for 30 bucks, I'll buy a full roll. Even though you can't see me talking, let me raise you up here. There you go. And then I've got 3/4 inch these. Alright, and how this works. Alright, you put this into your 3/4 inch knockout, and that piece slides in behind it, and it just snaps in place. There are a set of ridges in there, and they just push up in there and snap in place. Holds it in place, won't come out. They do have a glue that you can use on these, so you can glue it, but I'm not going to glue them. That way if I ever need to take it apart and move things around, I can do that. Alright, so we're going to get to work, YouTube. Alright, first thing we're going to do is get these installed. The transformer, I actually got to drill out 2 3/4 inch holes on there, because it's only got 1 inch and above holes. It does have 1 3/4 inch. It's at the bottom, but I can't install nothing there with the breaker box being there, otherwise the door would hit every time I open the door up. So we're not going to install that there. I actually got a knockout that goes there that'll fill that hole in, because all electrical stuff, if you don't want to have an empty hole because somebody reached their hand up in there, yeah, you know, you don't want that happening, so you cover up all your holes, and that's what those for. And so I should have those in here. Plus I got 3/4 inch little deals here to help hold my stuff to the wall. Hey YouTube, as you can see, I'm working on the transformer. I'm getting it wired in. Right now I've got it wired in. I don't have 240 going to it, but I do have a 120 circuit. Let me see something here. I'm going to show you some stuff, because I'm going to be testing this entire thing as I build, or as I work on stuff. So let me show you guys real quick. Alright. Right now you're going to see a plug plugged in here. Alright, that's a 20 amp plug. It's plugged into this breaker. Right now that is live. I got it come down here and it's to an extension cord, and it's coming right out of this plug here. It ain't that one there. It's that's that one right there. And I just got to plug at the end so I can plug it in. That way I can liven up this box so I can test out this transformer, because I don't have 240 in this box. But it'll work. It is going to be 240 in here. 2 hot lines right there. Right now that is neutral. There's nothing going to that one since it's only a single part of the split phase going in. But once we wire in this breaker box, it'll have 240 coming in, then 240 will come out of the box. It'll come into this transformer. Alright, I've already got that wired up. It's wired up for 240, but you can feed 120 in on this side here and still get your 240 or 260 output. Alright, and that's what this whole entire thing will do. So what we're going to do, I'm going to hook a meter up to it. Here's the other end that will be live. Right now I've got the breaker turned off, but once I liven it up, this becomes live. But I got a ferrule on it right now, but that'll come off and it'll go to this black lead right there. Okay, so let's show you guys this. Alright, first I'm going to flip the breaker for the transformer, and now we have power to the transformer. As you see, the lights did dim down because the transformer lived up. It's grounded, so see, I can touch it, nothing's happening. This is neutral, so technically you can touch that as well, but I really don't like touching the neutral neither, just in case. Alright, I'm going to plug the voltmeter here, but you always love cables. They always like to just twist around. There we go. Alright, here's the voltmeter. We're set on 600. Alright, we're touching metal in there. Alright, we're going to touch neutral. So hopefully you guys can see that meter. Yes, you can see it. And there we go. They make good contact. Right now it says 260, 259 volts. Should be about 240, but our power lines are probably a little higher. So let's check our power coming in. See what we've got. Should be only 120. We got 130 coming in from our power. So our power is actually a little higher than what it should be. But that's alright. That'll work fine on the PIP. Alright, well there's that, guys. We're going to go ahead and hook this black line up to this, and then breaker box on that side. Get you around there to show you it. There's your old PIP. Then that breaker box there will be live. And then from that box there, it'll go into the PIP. Then from the PIP, go down to that breaker box. From the breaker box to that transformer. I've already got wire ran. That's what that blue line is. There's already wire in there. And then there's the blue line there, and that goes into the back of the transformer as well. Okay guys, let me get back to work, and I'll get to you when I wire up the other transformer. The other transformer is going to wire up the exact same way as this transformer is. Alright, right now this transformer is technically wired in reverse. Alright, technically this is the primary side. This is your secondary side that I've got running on this side. Well, a transformer can be both a step up, step down transformer. So instead of right now on the 120/240 side, which is your low voltage side, that's where I've got my mains running into. I can technically step that up to 480 volts on the output side, but I'm only going to step it up to 240. There's a diagram on here that shows you exactly how to wire that up. Alright, on the low side, I've got X2, X3, they're in, wired together. And then they're going to this lug right there. See, I can actually touch it. Yes, it's live. There's 240. If I touch that and touch that, probably knock my... Yeah, it wouldn't feel so good. But so now we're going to step that up. And I want 240 volts. Actually, I can go 240, 480, but we don't want 480 on the output. But we got 240. And to set 240 up, I'd wire H1, H3, which is those two wires in parallel. And the same way with these two lines that are going in this neutral lug, they're in parallel. So one side's my neutral, one side would be my hot. If I wanted 240, I'd wire H2 to H3, put a ferrule on those, and then your two other leads would give you 480 volts. So that's running it in series. But I'm running the lines in parallel to keep me at 240. So 240 in with split phase, which is it's wired up as split phase. My neutral is my center tap, which is X2, X3. Then that goes into my neutral. 240 and 240 either side, and that's how that's wired up. My other transformer, it's the exact same thing that's happening here, but in reverse. I'll be using the transformer there the way it's supposed to be. Primary is my 240, 480 in, and my secondary, which would be my 240, 120 output. So we'll get this all wired up, and I'll get back to you guys. Alright, tube, I'll show you how much more I've got done. I've already got that transformer completely wired in. Wires coming across, going in the breaker, and this is going to be called my PIP in, and that's going to be my PIP out, and that's what I'm going to label each one of these in. PIP in breaker, PIP out breaker. Alright, and there's a transformer there. Alright, it's all wired into the box there, and it's got a double 30 pole breaker. Going into my PIP, got a 20 amp breaker and 20 amp breaker. Well, that's going in 20 amp, and then I've got a 10 amp or 20 amp coming out. So that's two breakers. Alright, and I've got the PIP already wired in. Now I did something a little bit different. Alright, if you can see in there you go. Alright, that's my input. As you can see, I've got neutral, hot, ground, hot, neutral. And that's how it says to wire it there on the diagram. Alright, on the bottom one there, which is my output going to my my other transformer, that's my output. You want to see that there's a ground, then there's a red wire and a white wire. The reason why I got red, that way I can technically distinguish from my input and my output. That way if I'm ever working on something, I know exactly which wire is who. So that's the reason why I did that. And that goes out to this, then come out of here. It's going to be the regular same colors, black and white and ground, and then it'll get all hooked into this transformer here, and then come out of that transformer into there. That's basically all I have left, is get this transformer wired up from this transformer to this breaker box, pull this other 10 gauge wire out, run it to that breaker box, and then from here 10 gauge out of there and into this system here. Actually, I'm not going to run 10 gauge. I'll go ahead and keep it 10. I might keep either 10, or I might go ahead and keep with my 8 gauge I've got there. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, it has been a lot of fun. This is all wired with 10 gauge. That way when I get another PIP, I can just wire my 10 gauge in here to the second PIP to this. And then I'll definitely get a different transformer or a larger transformer, because I can put one right beside it and just run a line to it, and then come out of there into the breaker box. Alright guys, that's what we've got done so far, and if I got any more done, I'll let you know. Take a look at that tube. Take a look at that tube. There you go. There's my output, 248, input, 248. Alright, right now we're charging the batteries. It'll show that on there. And right now that's going through that breaker, coming through that transformer, and through that system. And as you told you earlier, I have it plugged up to 120. So 120 to that, getting me my 240. And I could just keep it plugged like that, but it'd be 240 going into it. But yeah, there's what we got right now, and we're currently charging the battery bank, and it shows that the battery bank is full. Let's see. See if we can find out what our battery is. 60 hertz. Input. Battery amps. Put watts. Battery is at 54.5 volts. And all that stuff I'm going to have to set up here in a little while on the computer. But yeah, there we go. Right now we don't have no solar running in. We ain't got that hooked up. I'm still waiting on breakers. Right now I just got that temporary breaker, just 50 amps on there, because I'm not powering any loads off of it. I've got this breaker off for this, because that can be putting out 240 volts out. I have already tested it, and those two leads would have been live, but right now those are off. But there is 240 volts going to this plug here, so obviously everything is hooked up correctly with neutral. So everything is hooked up, boys. We got power coming in from the grid, charging the batteries. Alright, here you go. We're down to the small transformer. Might be able to hear a small hum through it. I've got it hooked straight to the PIP. The PIP is running right now. I'll show you all that stuff. I did fire it up. When I'm done testing stuff in cycles, I tested the 7.5 kVA to make sure it's good. Got it hooked to the PIP. Got a temporary 50 amp breaker on the PIP right now. to liven it up so I can get everything programmed. It automatically set itself for 60 hertz, didn't even have to change that. So I've got the pip up, going to the transformer, so all my breakers are on. These are my live leads out right here, and I've got them hooked up, 240 volts going into it, and this would be my 240 volts out, and my 120s out. Right now my grid volt is kind of high, so these voltages may be a little high as well. But we're going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to test these outputs and see what we get. Okay. Right now I just got temporary lugs on because you don't want, any of that stuff touching and tearing anything up. So here's the meter. Alright, we're going to stick one of these leads in. Okay, this will be my center tap right here, where it's got the 2 lines. If I can get the lead to stay there. And one of the external leads will be my 120 or 130. There you guys go. 130 volts right there. Alright, that shows 128. Alright, let's check the other one. Same voltage. You see my grid volts, it varies, goes up and it goes down. So right now it's showing 131. The other one should still show also 131. See, my grid volts, it varies all the time. My grid sucks here. This is why I'm doing this. Now if I go through those 2 outside ports, now earlier this transformer was cold. When these transformers don't like to operate cold, so when they get cold, the voltage is really high on the output, but once it starts warming up, it stabilizes. Alright, if I get to stay in there, there we go. Alright, and there's what the voltage is. Alright. I'm showing 264 volts, and that's even what my grid is coming in. My grid is at 260 right now. Alright, so there that is. That's my transformer. Now if I shut down this transformer going there, we'll shut her down. There you go, big grid's off. Pip now is running off the battery bank, so let's take a look, see what we got now. Shut those down. Those are my grid ties. One of them's got a bad fan in it. Alright, now let's see what the pip is doing. This should be 115 on the outputs. Actually, and there's 120 dead on. Alright, and the other one, 120 dead on. Look at that. Nice, ain't it? Now if I run across both of those, it should give me 240. You'll see I have nice, stable outputs. Look at that. 238, 39. My leads ain't making a good connection. But there's what we've got. Now if I kick this transformer back on, as you can tell, my grid sucks. Look at that. My grid is crappy. That's 280. Alright, so that's pretty much what we got. And I'll get a temporary plug and stuff hooked up to this so I can have a little bit of power as I'm working on the mains, because I got to shut that off to get my new wire ran into the breaker box up there. Get that all livened up. Once that's lived up, then I'll run a small light off my 20 amp plug there. It's from my welders. I'll get that all wired up. That way I can have me a light there. Get the conduit and everything ran for this. Get that livened up. Come out of this unit into that breaker panel. And that's all I've got left really. The only other thing is get my solar hooked up to the pip. Got my breakers on order. So this is pretty much it for this video. ain't much really more to show. We'll get this all hooked up, and next video I'll show you with the pip and everything else running. So I got to get my main power relocated and get my solar relocated and hooked up and get the breakers installed. That might be on my next video. So thanks for watching, YouTubers. Please comment, like, subscribe, and be ready for my next video. Hopefully by then I can start showing how the pip works, show you the software and stuff, which I've already got installed, but that's pretty quick and easy to install. What I'll do, I'll install it, and then actually I won't even uninstall it. I'll just show you the steps it takes to install it, because I mean it's simple. You don't really have to set much up other than telling English. So I'll show you that stuff in the next video. So see you in the next video, which should be part 5. Alright, this is part 4. Alright, talk to you YouTubers later.